Hey, what's up, my friends? Today we are making Habanero Pico de Gallo. Pico de Gallo is probably like the most iconic Mexican salsa that's out there. It's really easy to make and super delicious. And I recently did a video on carne asada and I made some tacos where I served a Habanero Pico over the top. I got a number of requests for that, so I'm making it for you today. This is a spicy spin on a Mexican classic salsa, and it's everything you need to spice it up in the kitchen. So, all right, let me show you how to make it. All right, guys, Habanero Pico de Gallo, a nice spicy Pico de Gallo. The first ingredient that you need is tomato. And here I have about a pound of tomato. The recipe calls for a pound. And this is actually a little bit more than a pound, so maybe I'll not use all of it, but really you can just throw it all in. It's really to taste. So, all right, we're gonna go ahead and finely dice the tomato. You can do a rough chop on all these ingredients and it'll still taste delicious. I mean, you know, but if you're thinking of presentation and having everything like nice and even, you'll want to dice them. So go ahead and slice the tomato like so. And you can remove the insides if you want to. Not everybody does, sort of the squishy insides, but I'll just go ahead and remove it to make it, you know, like less moist and just more even overall. All right, I've got these sliced up and the insides removed. So next we're gonna go ahead and dice these like so. All right, I got all of my tomatoes chopped up here, diced. And the next ingredient is onion. The recipe calls for a small onion. This is kind of a small, medium size, so I'm gonna use half of this onion actually. It's a white onion. But again, everything's really like more to taste. So if you want to have more onion, you can do that. All right. Gonna go ahead and dice up your onion. Woo. All right, onions diced up here into the bowl. And next we have a jalapeno. You usually use 1 or 2 jalapenos, but since I'm using habaneros today, I'm just gonna use 1 jalapeno. Gonna dice this baby up. And I just leave the seeds and innards in there. You can you core them out if you want to. Some people don't like all the seeds floating around, but I don't mind. They are edible. Into the bowl, pretty green color. This is how you get seeds everywhere in your house. Seeds everywhere. It's truly chili pepper madness. All right, guys, next, the star of this dish, habaneros. So you can use as much or as little habanero as you want to. It really depends on your overall heat preference. Habaneros are pretty hot. I mean, a jalapeno runs kind of an average of like 5,000 Scoville heat units. Habaneros right around 300,000, so it's quite a lot hotter. It doesn't hit the super hot range, which is like, you know, 1,000,000 or higher, but it's super respectable. But they add a delicious fruitiness to your overall dish as well. So fruit and heat, fruitiness and heat, yum. But I'm gonna use this big guy here. So you'll wanna just give it some good rough choppage. And you can remove the insides just like the jalapeno if you want to. It's really up to you. And it's probably a good idea if you have sensitive skin to use gloves when working with hotter peppers because the oils can get in your skin and cause burning sensations. It really doesn't bother me anymore unless I work with a lot of super hots. But it's a good idea. Safety, safety. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and chop this guy up here. And habaneros are very thin-walled peppers, so it's not like you need a super fine dice on it. Just give it a good rough chop and it'll be nice and thin. I'll core them out a little bit here. If I mince it like this, we're gonna get the overall heat and flavor spread throughout the entire Pico de Gallo. A little better. Look at that. I don't know, what do you guys think? Add more? No! Patty says no. Boo. All right, next is cilantro. So my recipe calls for 3 tablespoons of like finely kind of chopped cilantro. But this is one of those recipes where you can add, again, you can add a little bit more, a little bit less if you want to. And you can also chop it as fine or as, you know, rough as you want to. So I'm just gonna give I got some little brown spots I'm gonna get rid of. Just gotta pull it off the stems here. I use some of the stems too. Set that aside. Just gonna give it a rough chop. Yeah, looks good enough. Toss it in. All right, and lime. So the recipe calls for juice from 1 lime, but again, this is to taste, so I like to start with the juice of a half a lime, like a average size, kind of a smaller lime, and then I'll adjust that later. So, whoop, whoop. Just gonna go ahead and slice this guy in half, like so. Gonna juice it up. That was a good amount. Juicy lime. Oh, spraying. Nice. All right, let me get this mixed together a little bit. But do not forget the salt. Salt is very important, and it's salt to taste, really. So I like to do a few kind of pinchfuls here. And then you'll taste it and adjust. Look at that. Beautiful. Pico de Gallo, my friends. Yeah. All right, I've got this all mixed together, and at this point, you can serve it. It's good to go. But I like to refrigerate it, seal it, and refrigerate it, and let it mingle for at least an hour. All the flavors will develop a little bit and sort of mellow out and mingle more that way. I actually think it's better when you leave it overnight and enjoy it the next day, so it's a great make-ahead dish. And as far as tasting and adjusting, I like to do that after it's mingled for a little while because it's already gonna take on a little bit slightly different flavor. Usually it's salt and lime, maybe a pinch of salt, maybe a little bit of lime. So I'll save those ingredients for later as well. But so all right, let me go ahead and refrigerate this, and then we will continue. All right, while my habanero pico is mingling and doing its thing in the fridge, let's talk about some variations. And this really applies to any pico de gallo, really. As you see, habanero is a variation of a typical popular pico de gallo. It's not commonly added, but I love it, a nice spicy version. Jicama actually is a really nice addition for an extra crunch factor. Nice fresh jicama. Also pineapple. Have you ever tried pineapple pico de gallo, la piña? It's delicious, nice fruitiness. Great on like fish tacos and any sort of seafood, yum. Also, you can add garlic to your pico de gallo. Sometimes I add garlic. I don't usually add garlic to my pico, but I do love the addition, it's nice. A number of my cookbooks actually use a little dab of olive oil in their pico. Adds a little bit of flavor to it. But also the spices, you can add some spices to it if you want to. Maybe a little black pepper, a little cumin could be a good addition. So again, this is pretty customizable. You can make it however you want to, but this spicy version should be everything you need. So you would serve pico de gallo just like you would serve just about any salsa. It's really great on its own with chips as a nice appetizer, something you put out at a party. But it's also great on many different dishes, particularly Mexican cuisine. So if you want to spoon it over your tacos, like picadillo tacos, or recently when I made my carne asada street tacos, yum. I like it on molletes, which is like a Mexican open-faced sandwich, delicious, easy to make. But it's good on burritos, tortas. Spoon it over your huevos rancheros in the morning for a nice kick. So many ways to serve it. I just love pico de gallo. All right, I've had this mingling in the fridge for about 2 hours now, so got me a chip and let's give it a taste. Perfect. Got that fruitiness and spiciness really mingling, really permeating the whole salsa. Yum. Just gonna add a lot of awesome flavor to your tacos. Habanero pico de gallo, my friends. Let's spice it up in here. Nice and easy to make, but spicy and delicious. So hey, if you're looking for some more spicy, amazing recipes, boom and boom, got some popping up right here for you. And hey, I'd really love to hear what you think of the recipe in the comments below. And I definitely hope to see you in the kitchen next time. So Mike from Chili Pepper Madness. Bye.